All right, welcome to another Games Talk Live, everybody. Today we got a pretty good show for you. Of course, Hargeet is here, and we also have Holly in the house. Holly is with us. That blue number, she's joining us tonight. So it should be a very good night of good, decent topics, I think. First off, of course, as always, we're going to get into what we've been doing this week, what we've been playing, and that sort of stuff. Hargeet, how have you been? What have you been playing?
Well, I mean, I caused quite a kerfuffle.
The elephant in the
room? Not intending to, but it just sort of happened. But dang. Yeah, there was that. Outside of that, I've been playing a little bit of gaming, but not a lot. Been kind of busy, but yeah. So we had a little fun Sunday. Shout out to D. I did finish Mortal Kombat 1.
I'll tell you what. Yep. I've spoken with D, and D's not holding any hard feelings. D said basically it is what it is, and he's just moved on. So D's taking it in stride. He didn't blast you on social media or anything. I thought the whole situation was just insane. I didn't like any of it. So I was not thrilled with what happened, but at the end of the day, I was not there, and I couldn't have mediated, and unfortunately nobody tried. So that sucked. Anyways, with that said, have you been playing any games this week? What have you been doing?
Yeah, so I've been I played Mortal Kombat 1. I finished that. It was okay, whatever. It was but then I played a couple of puzzle games that nobody's ever heard of, trust me. I finished up Mythwreck. That was 10 days ago though, so that was one that was leaving Game Pass, so I finished that up. But yeah, that's basically what I've been playing.
Nice. Holly, what have you been playing this week? I know you've been playing some games. I know this.
Yes, I have, because I like to play games. I mean, I'm still always doing Fallout 76 for the dailies every day, which nobody cares or wants to hear about. So that's enough of that. And then I finished up Resident Evil Requiem this weekend. I didn't get everything completed, and I want to do it, but I want to let it sit for a little while before I go back and do it again and do I'll probably do a new game plus so you can, burn through a little faster, be a little more powerful, all that stuff. But man, what a game. And I've seen you playing it, Fonz. What a game.
I'm glad. Look, that's what I played as well. I'm glad that you beat it because we can sort of give it a small review here, you and I, because we both beat it. So
yes,
let's talk about it. I beat the game. It took me about 21 hours total. I no-lifed it one day for about, I don't want to say, but about 12 hours. Because I really liked it. It was really a fun game. Now, don't get me wrong, story-wise, kind of stupid, but I don't play Resident Evil for the story. I like the horror aspect of it. And this one really brought me back to the original horror in Resident Evil games. People were saying Resident Evil 7 was scary. It had that sort of Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibe and stuff. And I get that, but this one felt Resident Evil. That one didn't to me. That felt like a different game for me. And so did a lot of the recent ones. I'm not a big fan of the Resident Evil games, the recent ones. I am of the originals, though. Everything through 4, I think is great. After that, I'm kind of no, I didn't even care for 7. I couldn't get through it.
Wow.
This game, though, it just brought me back to my early adulthood playing the originals, and I loved the aspect of jumping back and forth between Grace and her horror first person, thing going on. And then you go to Leon with the third person butt kicking aspect. Dude, it was just such a good game. Such an awesome game. what a way, like, honestly, like, for me, this is probably the first top game of 2026 for sure.
Yeah.
I would give it at least
Yeah.
an 8.5.
Yeah. I'd be there with you. Maybe a not. Yeah, 8.5 or 9. It's man, it's so good. It's like it's crazy. 7 is single-handedly the scariest game I've ever played. 7 is so scary. And then 8, I enjoy 8. It's not top notch for Resident Evil, but it's still good. But 4 and 2 are, you know, of course, probably the best traditionally in the series. And this one is such a love letter to Resident Evil 2, which, you know, is just such a dynamite game. It's so good. And there's a thing that happens where you see a character that you weren't expecting to see, and you're just like, what? Like, and it just blew my mind. And I was texting somebody else who I knew had already finished it, and I was like freaking out. I was like, what? Like, it's so good. And so if you've played 2 and you have that connection to 2, if you've played 7 and you enjoyed at least like the horror capacity of 7, because it's such a horror game, then this game is just a perfect love letter to kind of Resident Evil on the whole, right? With Sherry being grown up, and being, you know, Leon's handler. And I talked to a couple of people, and like they were like, oh, I played Grace in third person. I'm like, no, stop what you're doing and put it back in first. I know that you like third person, but honestly, the intention is to play her in first and
Holly,
have that you need that dynamic between the two.
I rather play third person. However, for her character, there's no freaking way. Like I tried to put it in third for a little bit, and I said, nah, this isn't the same. So I went back to the first person, and those jump scares are freaking perfect. So yeah. Especially playing at like 2, 3 in the morning, like I was several times.
She's for people who haven't played it, she's like the weak character. She's the one that you have to be way more strategic. You have to sneak more. You have a weapon, but it's not really, you know, like you're not doing tons with it. You have to be strategic when you attack and when you don't. And just having that first person, like all inclusive, it's much more immersive for her character anyway. And then Leon should just always be in third person, just forever and always, because that's just how Leon's meant to be played, because he's awesome. And I love how like badass he was in this, you know, even more so than regular, right? Like he feels like he's like beefed up Leon. Yeah,
at his age too. Like
God. Yeah. But he the one thing I did think about the whole game is I feel like the difficulty on it is a little bit easier than
I played at the normal, and I didn't feel like it was hard at all.
Yes,
there was moments, don't get me wrong, there's moments when you have to run through a room full of you know, it gets pretty hectic, but overall I thought this ain't that bad. And then of course, if you play on the normal mode, you unlock insanity, and you can go back through. I'm not going to do that. I've played the game 21 hours. I'm good. I had a blast with it. The one thing that I really disliked about it, and this is sort of a nitpick, but sort of not, because it's all through the game, is Grace's the whole time. Oh my God, shut up. And and I went out and I looked for a mod to take that away. There was none. Interestingly enough, though, Holly, there was a mod to take Leon's groaning away and moaning. And I'm like, he hardly does. Why?
Yeah, he hardly does it.
Yeah. So it was insane to me, but it wasn't.
But did you, at the end, they have the little like video with the mocap session? Did you watch that? They have like the actors, right? And the mocap suits, and it shows like it was cool because they did like a 5 seconds of gameplay, and then they would show like that same arc as just in the studio with the actors and the stuff. And it was so interesting because it was cool to see, but like literally every time this actress that did Grace was on doing the mocap, it was like
Mhm.
you heard it 10 times worse, because even during her speaking and all of that, you know, because
Oh, wow.
she's such a timid character, you know, she's like, what can I get through there? You know, and like you're just like, dude. But
Yeah. And I understand
yeah,
it's the character, but I think it was a
yeah,
little too forced at times.
yeah,
A lot of
yeah, I would
times.
agree.
But
Yeah,
yeah, it was a
fantastic game though.
great game. Loved playing through it.
Performance was
Glad
great.
that I ended up performance was excellent. Such a good, again, proprietary engine that they have well optimized, and loved it. So next, and this goes into our next topic. Excuse me. Our next topic is about Crimson Desert. That's the next game I am going to be playing in a couple of days. I know you're not a big fan, Holly. I think I've heard that you're not a big fan of Crimson Desert so far. It's not something that appeals to you, right?
No, I think I'm gonna get it. I just like, I'm not on the extreme hype train that everybody else is, but like I've heard all these things. Like I was kind of like, I don't know, maybe I will, maybe I won't. But then it's such a big game that you feel like you should get it to try it. You know, it's kind of one of the things. But then also I've heard a lot of people say Red Dead 2, and I'm like, I see zero connections between this and Red Dead 2, but Red Dead 2 is like top 3 games of all time for me. So I'm like, okay, well now I guess I have to try it out.
So I've heard through the grapevine from people that know that are currently playing a review copy on PC for this, and I've heard mixed things. I've heard some people really love it, and some people don't like it much at all. One of the biggest negatives I hear is that the narrative isn't there. It's kind of just, they give you things to do. They tell you, hey, you know, here's a quest, go do it. But it's really one of those games where they just want you to explore and find things and just do things throughout the world. And honestly, I'm good with that. I mean, if you think about some of the best games in the past decade, they don't have real narrative in them. Elden Ring, Breath of the Wild, you're like, yes, there's narrative there, here and there, bits and pieces, but there's not really a big one collective story that's just like, this is a grand moment. By the ending of it, you're just going to feel like this best, thing you've been through with cutscenes and stuff. No, it's not like that at all. But yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with big exploration. In fact, I love exploration in games.
Did you watch any of the people who did the previews like a week or so ago?
Yeah, I did.
I really like Fighting Cowboy. I think he's really cool and does great walkthroughs, and he's got a really good mind around him about a lot of video games, at least to my opinion. And he did a preview of it, and it's interesting because every preview person I've watched has not been like, I was blown away, this game seems amazing. They were all just like, you could sense there was some just like trepidation in fully endorsing the game. And the 2 takeaways I got from his video, which concerned me greatly, was the first one was, I really like puzzle. Like, I'm like Hargeet, I love puzzle games. But they said that the puzzles in this are ridiculously hard. There's 0 clues. They were like, all the people who complain about the yellow paint are going to be begging for that yellow paint in this game. And then the other thing I heard,
complaint.
Yep. The other one I heard, which I also greatly concerns me, is that apparently there are so many inputs for the gameplay that even Fighting Cowboy was like, I couldn't play with a controller. I had to put the controller down and go back to mouse and keyboard because there's so many inputs and button combinations and things that they demand for you to know that I couldn't keep up with them in my preview time. And there was just too much to learn and remember. I just went back to mouse and keyboard because it's the only way I could get through it. And that's a big deal. That's a huge deal.
That is.
Yeah. So I just played God of War, and even God of War has like way too many like weird combo button things for all of these extra things you could do. And I didn't do like half of them because I was like, I'm not going to remember that, whatever. Right. And just played through it with what I did remember. But it sounds like Crimson Desert is like way more than that. But
yeah, that is one of the big things. The fact for me, the thing that scares me the most about it is the puzzle aspect, because I am not big on puzzles in games. I can do them, and I'm fine with some here and there, but if it gets to the point where there's just puzzle after puzzle after puzzle, I may quit the game. I don't know. But
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to give it the old college try, as some may say.
Are you going to try
play
like
the
at the
game.
beginning, or are you going to wait until it gets on sale or something?
No, I'm going to try at the beginning. I'm going to get it on like loaded for like $10 off, and just play the game. So
why don't we wait till like review? That's kind of where I'm at, like where Holly is. I'll just wait for reviews. I don't know. Like it's one of those, it's iffy. I'm not sure. If it is a lot more like Breath of the Wild, I doubt it's going to be like Breath of the Wild, but then it might be cool, right? But Elden Ring also rated really, really well. I hated that game. It was so annoying, but I did finish it.
That's one of my favorite games ever.
Yeah.
But it's very polarizing. Yeah.
But it rated like really high, right up there with Breath of the Wild, right? It's like a 96, 97, ridiculously high, very well rated. But but look, it's a Soulsy game, and so it has these moments where you're like, it's frustrating as hell, and you're like I don't want to.
This one I hear is not Souls-like at all, but the combinations in just the combat alone are insane. Like Holly was saying, there is so much to learn in how to just fight in the game that people were talking about, like, oh, if you put the controller down and try to jump to another game and come back to this, you're going to forget everything you've learned on that game.
I don't
like there's
that.
no jumping around.
Yeah.
So it's like you either play through this game or you're going to be, you're end up going to quit it or something. But for me, I usually play through the games before I jump to another one. I don't like skipping around. That's just me. I don't have that ADHD brain where I'm like, I need to jump to this, that. I can just play one game all the way through. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to get through Resident Evil. I wanted to take my time with it, but I didn't. I wanted to make sure I was done by Thursday. And so I got that done. And for me, it just so happens to be my wife's birthday is the next day. And so I'm like, man, I if I do end up liking the game Thursday night, Friday, I'm just going to be thinking about the game going, happy birthday, honey.
Wait.
Don't you want to go to the spa? Go have fun.
But here's the good thing.
I'll wait
it's
here.
Fine. We're going to have her and I are going to have a great weekend. But yeah, next week I will be all in on that game. If I do like it, and I'll see. We do get reviews tomorrow. So we will find out if people are really enjoying it or not tomorrow.
What do you think about how they've handled the communication around the consoles?
Oh.
Yeah.
I think right now, it's I know the marketing director said, like, let them cook, nothing's wrong. Like, they're just in the last stages of polish and all this stuff. I don't fear it like some people do. A lot of people are yelling red flags, but here's the funny thing. Somebody today, I forgot which YouTuber it was, but he actually saw, it could have been somebody in Korea that had a PS5 copy, and they were playing the game, and they had footage, and he was going through the footage and saying, this looks fine. It doesn't look like it's got performance issues. This is not another Cyberpunk 2077. So maybe the marketing guy is right there for Pearl Abyss. Maybe there's no issue there. Maybe they just weren't ready to give it out for review. I don't know.
They've been kind of not
very
nice
defensive
about people asking about it too, which is weird to me. Because I'm like, if there's no big deal, why are you like aggressively attacking people for just asking and then just blocking people instantly?
Yeah, that's not cool.
I find it weird. They were like, if it's running on a Steam Deck or whatever it was, then obviously it's going to run fine on a console. And I'm like, okay, well, that's all you had to say. Like, you didn't have to be like that about, I mean, you do want people to buy your game, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you been
I
on the
love
internet
this
before?
comment.
Do you know what the internet is?
Yeah, I love this comment from the legendary Xbot here. He says, I'm going to learn about 4 moves and spam that the whole game. That's probably going to be
Amen,
me.
brother.
Seriously,
Me
I'm going to
too.
be like, okay, this move is cool. That move is cool. That's all I need to know. I'm kicking ass with it. Leave me alone. Yeah, I tend to do that in games sometimes with, you know, a bunch of combinations and stuff. I'll find a couple that I really like and just spam them. Like, it happens. At my age, it happens. But yeah, so Hargeet, you're going to wait for reviews and stuff. You're going to see what they're saying about this before you jump in. Because you love puzzles. And if this is like puzzle heavy and they're saying they're good, you might jump in and play.
But they're not saying it's good, right?
Yeah, see, they're not saying it yet.
So
We'll
so if they say that it's good, then it's one thing. But I'm also not like let's just have puzzles for the sake of puzzles that are ridiculous and you can't figure anything out. It's like, okay, it needs to be somewhat entertaining and it like engages your brain. It's okay, I get that. I got that right. But if it's like I have to look every puzzle up, then what's the fun of that? Like, why do I want to do that? Right. So, it's a balance. But yeah, I'll wait and like unfortunately, there's just so many games. I have so much to play. I might as well just play those. And you guys will play it, and then you'll tell me this is what I thought.
I'll definitely let you know.
Right, and then I'll figure it out from there. Right, so I know quite a few. I'm sure have gotten review copies that quite what are the few people I know, whatever the people I know have gotten review copies. They'll tell me like it was this or this. You can kind of base it on that, right? So we'll see. I don't know if it's going to be something I enjoy or not. It was something it looked pretty cool when I saw it. So, but we will see.
Yeah, right? It immediately jumped like into the
looked pretty cool
of my most anticipated games for 2026. It's outside of GTA 6. This is my most anticipated game.
The thing that
which
turned
I know
me
Holly's not a big GTA fan, which I find
you're not a GTA fan,
but
right?
I've just never played GTA, not any of them. I've never played.
But you liked Red Dead, right? You said Red Dead Redemption. You liked.
Yes.
Red Dead.
I mean,
that's
you might want to give
people,
the other ones
Holly.
a chance.
Yeah,
I am
that's why she's my people. Red Dead.
Yes.
Red
Forever Red Dead. Yes. I think I am gonna stream GTA 5 campaign before 6 comes out.
Nice.
Cool.
So cool. It'll be good for me to at least play 1 before 6 just to see, like, because I do have a friend who's like, GTA 5 is the best game ever made. Like, the campaign is his favorite thing, and I'm like, that's a bold statement. I mean, I've heard people love it, but
GTA
not
5. I enjoyed it, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah.
For me, it's
I thought
San
5 was
Andreas.
Okay. It was good, right? Yeah. I haven't been able to play San Andreas. I think that was the one that came with that like, remake.
I'm talking about
thing,
back
right?
in the day, though, when it was new. Like, those graphics were amazing back then. Today,
and the gameplay is like, I'm like, I wish they actually did like a full remake of it and give you something modern that gives you the same gameplay. That would be awesome.
Rockstar's got the money. They could go do some of those, and they would still rake in even more money.
5 was good. 4 was interesting. It was that was a New York one. That whatever they call it, but it was pretty good. I like that one. But anyways, whatever. Both of those are pretty good.
So let's move on to talk a little Starfield. I guess today there was a big update.
Are you gonna do the voice? Starfield.
Set up. Starfield. Yeah. There's no okay, so a lot of people put out like videos and stuff, and I have not been able to watch a single one. I've been busy all day. So I don't know really what's in this update. Hargeet, do you know what the update, or do you have anything on that, and you can kind of pull something?
Yeah, there's quite a few updates that are they're sort of like little enhancements here and there. Yeah, kind of quality of life things here and there. I don't know if it's substantial, and this is why I was always saying don't call it 2.0 because I don't know, man. So one of the things they did, which I don't know how valuable this is you can now like travel to other star systems instead of just jump and it's there. I'm like,
Yeah, I did see that.
okay,
You can actually fly your ship
all
from
right,
point A to point B, and you can do it
fine.
slowly or fast or hyperspeed. That is cool. That should have been there day one, honestly. That is cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I care. Like so here's the problem, right? A lot of people played this on console, and apparently the load screens take a while. I played this on a PC with a very fast SSD. So my load screen is I click, I'm there. And I'm like, you know what? To me, that's much better. I don't want to like wait. I don't even want to fly there. I just want to like click and I'm there. So my load screens generally were 1 to 2 seconds. Right. So for me, that's kind of a blink and I don't care. Right. So unfortunately for those on like console, I think it was more like 7 to 10 seconds. So you kind of felt it. Right. And it's like, for me, it was just like I click and I'm there. And I was like, to me, that's just better. That's much, much faster for me. So I liked it the way it was, but apparently people didn't. Right. And that's fine. Like, okay. So, but there's a whole list. I can see if I can find one of the lists of all the features they've added, but they all were kind of quality of life. There's one where the ship has some new potential capabilities. They also added a new material called X-Tech, which allows you to upgrade your weapons and ship modules. Cool. You can now put like skins on your weapons. So they used to be very bland. Now you can actually put skins on them. There's things like that. And there's also a new, well, call it DLC. They didn't call it a mission or whatever. I don't know. It's not maybe as large as Shadowed Space. So, but there's a DLC that goes along with it.
This is the biggest DLC so far.
Okay, so it's bigger than Shadowed Space?
Yes.
Yeah, it's bigger.
Okay. Okay, so if that might make it
a new faction, I think, and a whole new story quest line.
Yeah, and there's some mechs that go with it, stuff like that. So there's a slew of different things that are coming with it. It's Terran Armada, right, is the DLC. So yeah, there's some quality of life improvements. This article unfortunately doesn't have all the little like things, but there was like probably about 2 dozen different, new things that came with it. Here we go. I can give you this one. And let me copy this over. Copy.
They added, I was listening to it when I was walking the dogs, and they added one of the things that caught my ear when they were talking about is they added a new house, like a mansion that you can buy because people had like millions of space dollars in their accounts and whatever. So they added this big fancy mansion that you can buy. And then they also finally made it quality of life that if all of your storage locations are now just interlinked. You don't have to go travel to the other one to go get stuff and bring it back, which should have been there to begin with, but that's there.
So I'll kind of like slowly go through, like you guys can kind of read through some of these, right? Hopefully you can see this, right? Yep. Okay. So you get some new space encounters. I know there's more stuff on the planets too. So you get this new resource. You can enhance abilities, make it stealthy, things like that. Interesting stuff, right? Just a little quality of life stuff, though. All right, and then what you just mentioned, right? Shared outpost containers. You get little action figures, like the bobbleheads.
Yeah, I did see that portion on one of the videos that I tried to watch. They walked through that little mansion. They showed like little toys on the wall and stuff. So like you have collectibles, and I think they even had a pet or something.
Yeah, there's pets now.
You can now have alien pets.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds to me that like a lot of it, they added a lot, but they also added a lot of quality of life features in the game that, I wish it was there day one, this kind of stuff, because this is not enough to bring me back to playing the game. But
hopefully the DLC is, and I don't know if you want to try the DLC or not, but you also have like the Moon Jumper, which does seem like it's like the Mako in Mass Effect. You have a little tiny robot.
Unfortunately, because I was on Game Pass at the time, I do not own any Xbox games in the past 5 years.
I bought like the collector, so I actually own that game.
I actually scratched that. I do own Outer Worlds 2 because I bought that because I'm not on Game Pass. So,
But I mean, I don't know if Game Pass deals are still around. You can always just get it for like $10 or something. But anyway, photo mode. I don't know if that's interesting to you, but whatever. New points of interest on the planets. You can get a new
you hate
mansion.
photo mode.
Yes, totally waste of time.
I
but
like
whatever.
photo modes in games. Yeah. I don't mind them.
So this is what I was concerned about. It's not an expansion, so expect less than Shattered Space, which if it's larger,
Yeah,
that's
it's next-
awesome.
082. You're right. DLC is not included with Game Pass. You have to pay, I think, an extra $10 or something if you have the premium.
It's $10.
But I have
something
the
like
collector, so I have the whole thing. So,
yeah, I don't know how that works, man. It's just that this. So I had the show put together before this news came out today, and then I was busy all day, so I had no time to really go through the Starfield stuff.
Yep. Killer robots. Yep. New incursion systems. Some who the story for, but others are repeatable for loot. Okay, cool.
There's some new
But
stuff.
that's it. So this is what
Some
it is.
old
And
stuff.
it's also coming to PlayStation.
And it's
April
coming to
7th.
PlayStation, as you know, everybody predicted 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Everybody's acting like this is something new, but like everybody knew 3 years ago.
So
shout out to
so that's
Ryan,
that.
who started that because he heard so. Anyways, Holly, are you jumping back into Starfield?
Man, I spent like I don't know. I spent like 200 something hours in that game, and I just hit a brick wall. And it was, I never went through the Unity. I was still trying to like.
Oh, you
clean
didn't.
No, I was cleaning up like all of the
Gotcha.
side stuff. Because there was, I don't know if you remember, but back then there was this huge debate about do all the side content before you go through the Unity. No, don't do any of it. Just get through Unity and then do it later. And I didn't know what to do. And it was such a like back and forth that you kept hearing two sides all the time. So I was like, I don't know. The way I always play games is I finish everything before I go do the last thing. So I'm just going to do all the stuff before I do the last thing. So I think I did like every faction line, and I was trying to do all of the temples. I think they were called temples, right? Like the different to get the whatevers. And then finally something else came out, and I just, squirrel away, didn't mean to. That's what always happens, right? And I never actually made it through the Unity. So now I'm like,
yeah,
man, I don't know. Like I am not good about going back to a game months later and just picking it up where I left off. I want to always start over. So then I'm like, do I want to, like, do I have, what's coming up? Do I have time?
Oh my gosh.
300 hours?
You do not want to start Starfield over. You will be stuck in this game for hundreds of hours.
I know. And it's not like, and I'm kind of like you, where I'm like, one story game at a time. I want to do one story game at a time. If I have multiplayer games on the side, that's fine. That's whatever. But like, I don't like having multiple. So I don't know. It's just it's like thinking about starting over Red Dead 2 as well, right? It's such a commitment because it's like hundreds of hours. Just like,
I've done that. I've done that twice though. So I played through the whole game like that. And interestingly enough, with Red Dead 2, I found new things on my other playthrough. Like I was just blown away. Like I've never done this stuff.
Yep.
But you fell into that trap where, you try to finish up everything before you beat the game. And I've done that with games before. And yes, it's bit me in the ass too.
Because I never wind up actually, I get 95% of the way through and I don't actually finish the thing because I spent so much time going. Indiana Jones, same thing happened. I was going back. I was like, I'm going to 100% this thing. I was going back into the old, like into the Vatican and other things, cleaning up like the one or two things I left behind. And then I literally probably had like 4 hours left in the story and I never finished it because I just got caught in that.
For me, I didn't finish every little thing, but I explored everywhere I thought I could in Elden Ring because I wanted to complete everything there and beat every boss and everything. And I want to think I did. I don't know if I did, but I went everywhere I thought I could go. But that game is very, it's huge. And you've got the underground worlds. The verticality is insane. everything about that game is just nuts. Like the exploration anyway. So, but yeah, that was one of those games I felt that same way. And I actually put in a lot of hours trying to get that thing cleaned out. But yeah, that was the last time I've done that with a game. I don't I want to say that take something like Crimson Desert. If I do like it and I'm like, oh, this is really fun to me and there's a lot of exploration, I don't know that I'm going to jump in and say, I'm going to clear this thing, because I've heard it's got like hundreds of side missions. And I'm not about to do hundreds of side missions. I'm sorry. Like, that's a little much.
Wow.
I'll get done what I want to get done.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go through a Ubisoft.
This is not the only game I'm going to play
again.
this year. Yeah.
Yeah. It's, you know, I'm 50. I don't want to be 57 by the time I beat it. Like, I want to play GTA at the end of the year. But yeah, I hear you on that, Trap. Yeah. So Hargy, you're jumping in for the DLC for sure, right?
That would be the plan. So I will find out how, if this isn't a like substantial actual story thing, then I probably won't. But if it is a story thing, if it is a substantial story thing, then I'll absolutely do that. Yeah, too bad I can't use that new DLSS stuff. But either way, it's as long as there's that story. As long as there's that story, it'll be something.
Do you have a 50 series yet?
I don't. I have a 4090. Well, I have a 50 series in my production machine. I have a 5060. But
he can get a 5090 like that tomorrow if you wanted to.
But I'm not going to buy a 5090.
like,
I don't know.
He doesn't need it right now. None of us need it, because this.
No, but DLSS requires a 50 series card, right?
And it's not going to be out till the fall anyway, right? So
yeah, and in what capacity? Because what they showed was running on two 5090s. Let's be real. Like this was okay. So we're going to get into this because this is a hot topic. This was a tech.
This is a 6090
demo.
feature.
This is a tech demo. Everything we saw there to run
6090 feature,
how those faces looked and everything, that is not going to be what you're getting in the fall with a 5080. I'm sorry. It's not going to be that way. So you're going to get close to that, maybe, but you're right, Hargeet. It's more of like a 60 series, like future thing. This is I'm sure.
Series feature. Yeah, exactly.
It kind of like,
and that was what I was going to get anyways. I was going to skip the 50s. I was going to get the 60s anyway. So I'll be happy to get that one when that comes out. But yeah, this is obvious 60 series.
So first off, what I want to talk about here is, so Digital Foundry, of course, showed off the power of DLSS5, and the gaming world just freaking hated it. Like my Twitter feed is 90% this is AI slop, and 10% I love it. And I'm in that 10%. I'll be honest, and I'll tell you why. So ever since I was a kid playing day one on the Atari 2600, I've always dreamt of the day of having that uncanny valley look in a video game with realistic graphical, games. Like if we're talking about those types of games. Because, of course, I'm not saying every game needs to look realistic. That's nonsense. There's a lot of great games with an artistic style that you don't need realism in it. I get it. So that's not what we're talking about. But I've always wanted realistic-looking games to look as real as possible. So when they showed this initially, I was watching it and I was blown away. I was like, wait, you're telling me that there's a feature within DLSS you're going to be able to toggle on, and you can get these types of graphics over this same exact models and skeletons, that geometry that's already there. They're just painting another layer, a face on it. And this is what you're getting. It's per pixel. Like this is not a filter, people. This is not a filter. This is not a freaking, an Instagram filter type thing going on. This is heavy tech that they're using here that is able to do this stuff. And I'm blown away. So I go to Twitter and I write, wow. And I've got the video, and underneath it, the first comment I get, it said, wow, bad or wow, good. And I'm like, what do you mean? Wow, good. I love it. And people are saying, oh, well, everybody hates it. And I'm just like, wait, what? How? Why? Why do you hate it? And then the one word I keep hearing, which I think personally is overused to death, is AI slop. AI slop. And I immediately just recoiled, and I'm like, I don't get it. I like it. So I go to my friends, you know, and I'm like, what do you think about this? And they're like, oh, I think it's amazing. And I'm like, yeah, I do too. But everybody on the internet saying it sucks. Now, I want to go to you, first, Holly, because I don't know what you think about it at all. And I would like to get what your thoughts of this tech when you first saw
it. Well, I'm in your 10% as far as AI goes, because I'm so bewildered by like the absolute hatred for AI that we see just rampant everywhere. Now I get it. Some of it looks like garbage, right? Totally agree. But that's what technology is in its infancy, right? Like there has to be iterations. You have to improve. You have to start somewhere to get somewhere, right? And that's everything. That's not just technology. But like, obviously we know that there is a potential for job loss and like a severe shift. This is a next major event, right? In how the world evolves and all that stuff, right? Like it's kind of like we lived through when the internet became a thing, right? And like the internet now controls everybody's lives, right? If you don't have the internet, you don't have work, you can't, like there's a lot of stuff. So AI adoption is going to be that, right? It's in its dial-up mode phase right now, right? Like that's what we're seeing. And I think it's really cool. Like some of the stuff it can do, I'm always amazed. A lot of it looks like garbage.
Did you see what Leon looked like? It was really nice.
Hell yeah, brother. No, but so my point is like we get to this point and everybody's crying and like just really upset about it. And I'm like, that shit looks cool, man. Like the character models on Starfield were one of the biggest, because Creation Engine, you know, they did 2 right for Starfield, and it came out and I was like, it still looks like Bethesda games from 2013, and I love Bethesda. I am not pooping on Bethesda on the whole. I love it.
Yeah.
Right. But you thought there was going to be a little bit more contour, fidelity, whatever, right? In their people models, right? The character models. But it wasn't really there. But then when they did the ones today, I was like, holy crap, do you see how great that looks? Like, I think there's a lot of potential in this, and there's a lot of things that are impressing me with it. Grace, I don't know why.
One thing I want to say about this Grace.
She looks good.
Now you see the Grace, and I was with Digital Foundry when they said, oh, I mean, the choice is obvious which one you would want to play when they were looking at this image. And I was like, yeah, I'd rather play the Grace that looks better. I don't know if some people have glaucoma, they need glasses. I don't know, but it's obvious to me which image looks better. But not only that, people, but if you compare Grace, the NVIDIA DLSS off to on, to the actual model, it's pretty astounding. Because it looks more like the model.
Yep.
There she is.
It ties.
That looks.
Don't you think? Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it looks, the lips, the eyes, everything that it changed that people were complaining about is like the real actress. This is what they did. And here's the funny part. Everybody's complaining about artistic intent. Who do you think tweaked this stuff for DLSS5? It was these developers from Capcom, the developers from Starfield. They're the ones that did it. So everybody complaining about artistic intent, this was their freaking intent with DLSS5. Just because it looks different doesn't mean it's wrong. They did this. So I don't understand what the point was for people to get all up in arms about it and just yell AI slop or call it a filter, which is not a filter.
It's
odd to me.
Don't you feel like it's like it just it kind of gets me, because I feel like this just ties in very indirectly, but it very much ties into the arguments about that we've seen the last 2 years about attractive characters versus ugly characters. And do you want to play an attractive character? And of course you do. Of course you do. Everybody does. And then it ties into it's the exact same argument as the people who are like, body positivity, you should be happy with what you look like. And then the next thing you know, you see them in the ads and they've been taking Ozempic for the last 6 months. And they're tiny little skinny little things, right? And you're like, okay, it's only body positivity until you lose the weight, right? And you wanted to look like this, you wanted to be this thing, and that's fine. Good for you, like, do what you want, but like, don't shame people for obviously like having personal preference for something that's attractive, right? Like,
well,
now, I think it goes too far.
A lot. The person that plays Grace looks like a model, a real life model, because she is. That's the point. That's the point of DLSS5, to get more realism. Look at her. She doesn't have a ton of makeup on, but she looks a lot like that picture. It's so crazy. I wonder why. Oh, because the devs used that model. Okay, it makes total sense. I just don't understand. Look, now we can sit here and talk about, like, you don't want to step on an artist's intent, like, or their direction for a game and stuff. And I'm 100% on board with that. However, if you're the type of person that, because I know for a fact, I've seen some people that are online stating it steps on the artist. This is not the way they intended the game, when these are the same people playing a nude Stellar Blade with a Sailor Moon face because they're modding their games. I don't want to hear from you. Your opinion is irrelevant when you're arguing about artist's intent and you are modding your games in any way, because that is not how the artist intended it to be. Yet these companies, because matter of fact, NVIDIA let out a statement and they said this: it's important to note, with this technology, game developers have full detailed artistic control over DLSS5's effects to ensure they maintain their game's unique aesthetic. There it is. It's the developers that implement this. They choose to implement DLSS5. This is not mandatory, number one. So everybody arguing about artistic intent goes that right out the window. You have nothing here. Your point is moot. Now, other people have brought up stuff that does make more sense to maybe get nervous about, and that is the possibility of artists getting lazy, using this as a crutch. Or them just getting rid of artists altogether and using DLSS5. Now, these things, yes, it's a potential, possible that this could happen. But as of right now, as it stands, as a gamer, as somebody who's been in this game for 40 plus years, I love what I see with tech moving forward. I love this stuff. It doesn't look like AI slop to me. And here's one point I want to bring up. Or actually, Hargeet, before I do, I'm going to give you the floor because I've not given you a chance to talk about this. What say you on DLSS5?
So I think what Holly said is exactly right. This is the infancy. This is like the proof of concept. It's not even out yet, right? This is coming out in the fall.
Yes.
And it takes inordinate amount of compute power, right? So when people were saying, okay, like, hey, the next generation will do all these things and you'll get your 60 and 120 frames. And I'm like, wait till UE6 comes out. Wait till, the next newfangled fancy thing comes out. And then your frames are gone again. Why? This thing's eating two 5090s. What do you think that's going to mean for the next game that's going to try to do crazy ass shit? It's going to happen, right? So we keep thinking that just like we had with the previous generation, when Zocker and I were saying, good luck. We'll see those 60
And it's
frames.
not even just DLSS. It's this type of tech, right? It's also like path tracing even. That's going
There's
to
so
eat
much stuff happening.
so much.
This is what path tracing is like. They're just taking it to the next level and saying, we're just going to give it to you in games you haven't even implemented it in yet. We'll make it look so clean and make the image of that person look realistic. And that's what the whole lighting structure does, right? It really does make the image like it feels like real life. Why? Because light does this, right? In real life, light bounces all over the place and then it gets into our eyes and we're used to this. So that's what it's doing. So this is great. I like the technology. It needs tweaking. There are certain times where it goes too far, and that's up to the publisher, the developer to make that work. That's up to them, right? It's tech. You do what you need to do with it and make it look right, right? So this is probably going to be one of those things where they have to like work and tweak and make sure every scene is correct, every person looks correct. And if you're doing it across the whole image, you may make like other artifacts look wrong, right? So you have to be careful with it. So they'll just have to play through that. Again, it's in the infancy, just like any tech, right? You start with it, it looks wrong, it does bad things. There's like 80% good, 20% bad, and then it starts getting better and better and better to the point like 3, 4 years, 5 years later, you're like, this is just passe normal stuff now, and we just use it every day, right? Cool. So in like 5 to 10 years, I see this just being a normal thing that just is available, and it gets implemented in a lot of games. But this is exactly what I was looking for as the next step. The other cool thing I like about this, with the series, like Xbox One to Series or PS4 to PS5, it wasn't as easy to tell what's better. Oh, I get more frames, maybe. That was about it, right? The rest of it, they looked the same, of 4K to 4K. Here you see it. You can see it. You can do an A/B and say, look, it goes from here to here. Your new thing does that, right? It's pretty easy to just say, flip, here you go, right? I like that because now you have a reason to upgrade. Right? It's like your new thing is going to go do this. Oh, cool. I want that, right? Because you can just outright see it. It like makes it look real, right? That's awesome. And this is, again, infancy. It's only going to get better, right? So I like it. It looks cool. Again, I understand that it's going to cause weird issues. Like in some cases, it over exaggerates and makes a character like, I think in the Hogwarts, right?
The Hogwarts, he looked older than 15. Yeah,
exactly. Like the protagonist is a teenager. Suddenly he looks like he's like mid to late 20s. You're like, hold on. Okay, you maybe overdid it there. And again, that's up to them to tone it back and make it look right. It's their, their job as a developer to go make it, work correctly. But that's it. I think this is an awesome tool in the tool chest, right? But again, it's going to take a while.
I'm glad you said that, Hargeet. It is just a tool. This is something that is going to be literally a toggle for you to turn on if you want it. If you don't, you simply don't turn it on. Like for me, I would definitely turn it on for Resident Evil with the characters looking better like that. Hogwarts, it's kind of debatable for me, but again, it's case by case basis. It's how it's implemented. It's how these developers do it.
Right.
Because again, I want to stress this because this is something that is stressed by NVIDIA. And we've heard from some developers, they fine tune it. It is the developers that fine tune this feature. It is not something that is just AI created and they're just going with it. That's not how it works.
And I would love to see this on like much older games, right? As long as the gameplay is good, just like what they did with Oblivion, right? As you could just say, hey, let's filter this on top of it. You have something underneath. What happens if I start layering this on top? Does it clean everything up? Does it make it look nicer? Right? How does that like work? Just like think of all like the like this older, standard definition content out there, just video content that they up-res into 4K. Well, that's all just processing, right? If you do it in real time, holy crap, like how much better would that look? And that's kind of where we're going, right? That's going to be the next leap, is that you can real time up-res things in from standard def, from high def into this 4K, awesome looking, very path tracey like thing. Fantastic. Cool. Let's see where it goes. So I see this being an awesome like first step. and a technology that will do a lot of cool things, and it's going to give you that reason to want to keep going and get better hardware. And I don't know that the next gen consoles will come close to this, because think of like
no, it won't. But here's the thing:
I said 123 teraflops.
Hargy, exactly. But I said this on Twitter, and it had some people in an uproar, because I said they are using similar tech. They are using neural rendering. Both Amethyst and Diamond have neural rendering. They're going to be using a lot of this stuff to try to get your games to look even better with the limited hardware that they have. And I say limited because I wanted to explain this, because this isn't coming from me. And I want to just mention this because I wasn't able to really say anything a couple of weeks back, but on Twitter, I had made a post and I basically said, let the guys that know tech talk the tech, because people were just jumping in and talking about tech. But before that, I mentioned something about the tech, about emulation and how we've had it for years. And I had mentioned the part where I was talking about emulation. I forgot what I even said at this point, because it didn't come from me. You know who? People were calling me stupid, Hargeet. They were retweeting me saying I was dumb. It came from freaking Jason Ronald, who is not an idiot, like verbatim. It's what he said about the tech. And so I was sitting there just like, you guys are fucking dumb. Like, this is not from me. I'm not the guy that knows. I don't claim to know a lot about tech. I know very little. I try to learn. I do, but I don't know much. But I talk to Jason Ronald a lot, and no, he doesn't tell me anything outside or, about the Helix or whatever, because he's under NDA with that stuff. He won't do that. But I do talk to him about tech all the time, because why? He freaking knows. He's a genius when it comes to this stuff. Like, why? If I could talk to Mark Cerny, I would. But Jason, he's a nice guy. I consider him a friend. He talks to me. He'll let me know about hardware and stuff. But anyway, he had this to say to me last year, mind you. So he hit me up in a DM one day because he saw me on Twitter complaining about DLSS. Because at the time I was saying too many developers are using it as a crutch. So Jason reached out to me and said, I'm curious, why do you keep saying it's a crutch? And so I explained to him, I feel like some developers are overusing DLSS instead of optimizing their games properly. And he said, I gotcha, but let me explain something to you as well. And he told me this. He said, hardware is at the point where they're almost at a silicon ceiling. He said that complaining about DLSS and frame gen at this point, it's kind of moot, because it's becoming a more necessary tool to use. He says developers use tools like this, and this is not verbatim, but this is basically what he told me. He said developers use tools like this in the software in the software sector that allow them to push tech even further than hardware will allow, because there are constraints to hardware, including power consumption. And even when they're doubling, like the transistors and stuff in these GPUs, they're getting diminishing returns now. Hardware is not enough anymore. So they have to use the software. Hargeet, you would know about this stuff too, right? Is that true? I mean, this is what Jason told me last year.
It's getting tougher and tougher, and like it's really just like how much can you shrink it? How much
they can't shrink it that much. Yeah.
Right, and how much power can you run through it? Right, it unfortunately is getting to some annoying levels. Right, that's why they're using 2 cards to actually do this instead of just having enough compute capacity within one. Look, there are ways to start getting around that. They will keep using those, but it is a problem, and the more you keep doing that, the more expensive it becomes. So there's a cost to benefit analysis that you have to do there, and especially in console gaming. You're looking to create value structures, not expense structures. So yes, in corporate world, you can do crazy things and have massive amounts of GPU compute within a box, but you pay like a lot of money to go do that. Consumers in a gaming world that are buying a console don't want to spend that kind of money, right? So he's right. You have to shrink it back. You have to say, all right, what can we do with the silicon we have? And basically per teraflop you're running, or per operation, what can I get on top of that to make that operation as effective as possible? And that's basically the software. That's what we've been doing. So we've been making the software more and more capable, and that just gives you more. And we add some in hardware and some in software. And that's like DLSS, FSR. These are the things that are making it better and better. As you can see, like it's the same operation is running, but it's making it look that much cleaner, right? What is it doing? It's just it's software on top. And it's just
and some people will say like, oh, well, I'm good with the way the graphics already look. We don't need to move any more forward. But that's not how technology works. They keep pushing forward. They keep trying to, reinvent lighting and push graphic fidelity further and stuff. That's just how it is. And without these tools, these software tools, there's no way they could be able to do this with the hardware that we have. It's impossible. And that's why they use it.
And to your point, they are putting in the custom APUs for both PlayStation and Xbox. They're putting in specific path tracing capabilities and ray tracing capabilities that hopefully will help with these kind of things. Along with, we saw a whole slew of new feature sets that are coming in that will hopefully speed up that the process that creates the images, right? So we'll see if that works out, and if that can happen, maybe we can get something like this. Again, probably at a lower frame rate.
No, it'll be different, but similar. I mean, neural rendering, and matter of fact, Jason Ronald on stage at GDC mentioned neural rendering a lot. Like, it was a big emphasis.
Yeah.
And that's because it's going to help push, their diamond is going to help push these games even further with graphic fidelity. People just don't realize it yet, and even frame rates. So, I mean, this is tech that they're needing to use because of hardware constraints. It's just, it's the way it is.
Can you explain neural rendering to me?
Hargeet, can you explain neural rendering? You're the tech guy.
Yeah, I'll just get like an actual definition of
in
it.
like,
in like layman terms, like 5-year-old. Like I'm a 5-year-old.
Because I am a hardware 5-year-old.
Oh wow!
It's hard to learn that stuff.
Well, I might be a 10-year-old.
Well, okay, so this is just outright definition that comes up. Neural rendering is a transformative approach in computer graphics that integrates neural networks into the rendering process, enabling significant advancements in performance, image quality, and interactivity. There's a diverse application across industries, particularly in gaming, film, and virtual reality. But I don't know if it actually tells you, like, okay, so for instance, RTX neural materials compress complex shader codes, enabling real-time performance for real quality material, for film quality materials. So, I'll
just show you. There it is. There's neural rendering.
Yeah, it's basically just
on the screen.
I just don't know what neural networks are. Like, I know what rendering is, right? But I don't know, I guess, like.
So they can make it look more like the real actress. There she is.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, no,
I'm sure I'm not the only one in the chat that doesn't know what this is.
It's funny because nobody was really processing that whole speech by Jason, or even when Mark Cerny would mention neural rendering with Amethyst, but he's mentioned it quite a bit in articles. It's just for them to help push the tech forward and help with the hardware. It's a tool, people. It's just another tool. And if you don't like, I hate to say it this way, because I'm not trying to be a jerk, but like it or not, this is where the industry is going. This is where it's going. And you can't really do much outside of this unless you want to play older style graphics and not move forward with tech, because the hardware can't do it alone. I mean, AI is here to stay in gaming, people. I mean, machine learning is a form of AI. Like, all this stuff is like that we've been using for many years. I mean, DLSS, FSR, it's all been AI. It's like people just found out, like, yesterday when DLSS5 came out, that it's suddenly AI, and it's like, you've been using it all this time. Mm-hmm. It's funny to me, but whatever. I just don't see the outrage, especially when it's not even out yet. And yes, even for somebody like me who's excited about the tech, even me, I know hey, slow your roll a bit. Let's see what it looks like when it does finally come out. But let them cook with it. Let the devs actually work and do their thing with it. I don't have a problem with them having another tool to make the games possibly look better. I'll say that. Sir If Salat's still on his Atari 2600. I refuse to move to better graphics. Exactly.
There you go.
That's what I say.
So, I mean, the best I can do to explain neural rendering is if you take like a normal, I don't know if you know how all the graphic stuff works, but you put a texture on a polygon, right, an object that has a structure around it, and then you layer on a layer of lighting, and so that lighting happens as another rendering step, right? So it's either real time, a global illumination, or it's ray tracing or something like that. So you're layering on. In this case, what they do is they take the whole thing and run it through an AI model instead. And it does that in real time. And that's the neural network that gives you the full effect. So they're trying to make basically real path traced images happen in a more efficient way that actually can work. So that's what that basically is. Does that kind of explain it? So it's kind of mixing AI with the rendering process.
Okay, so there's a quote from Jensen Huang, right, from NVIDIA.
Jensen.
And he said, DLSS5 fuses controllability of the geometry and textures and everything about the game with generative AI, which is exactly kind of what you said, right? Just a different way to say it.
Mixing AI with exactly.
It takes all the shapes and then uses the AI to kind of fill in the gaps and where there's no texture or the lighting for it.
Yeah. And Holly,
exactly.
and that's something that I want to stress too, because so many people out there, like, they're changing the geometry. No, they're not. It's the same geometry, the same skeleton of the actual characters.
It's just exaggerating,
that fresh coat of paint on the geometry.
Yeah.
And where it really excels, if you look at the skin and everything, and you get the lighting and stuff on the skin just right, I think the skin looks unbelievably amazing.
Yeah.
Like, it's really
and again,
good stuff. It's
it'll
exciting.
just keep getting better over time, right? And that's the beauty of it. So
you know, character skin and hair is always like the hardest thing. It's always the thing that looks the worst, right? So
and did you see what they did to her hair here too? The hair even looks better.
The hair looks great. Yeah, it looks like actual hair instead of.
It looks really good. I want to see what this looks like all in motion, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is early days, so we still don't know. And again, that's why I say we have to wait and see.
And I bet you it's probably not going to be good in fluid motion right now, because that's a lot of
probably isn't, because they didn't really
rendering power needed to make it work. And that's why it's in infancy. It's good. It's fine, right? Like you were saying, Holly, it's the first step. It's in infancy right now. Let's see what it does, right? I think 2 to 3 years from now, we'll see it looking really cool, doing some really good stuff, right? So, but hey,
we had a Graybeard Gaming Cast. Thank you for the 3. He said, "Have you seen Indiana Jones on DLSS5?" I saw a picture. Cool. I saw a picture, but I don't know if it was like made up or if it was actually running on DLSS5. And I didn't personally care for that one. I didn't think the lighting did it justice at all. I thought it looked better before.
I saw,
but I don't know if that was real. I don't know if it was real. And then we've got Web Dave. Thank you for the $1.99. He says, "Shout out to Holly, Hargeet, and Fonz. Hit the like button."
Shout out to WebDave.
Then we got one from D Batch. He says, "F you, Hargeet. Why'd you kick me?" No, I'm just kidding. Oh, I wish D Batch was here. D Batch is my boy. No, D-Batch has had a lot to say about this too. He's been all over Twitter arguing with people about it. And I'm like, no need to argue. Like, I feel like this, honestly. I know some people do not like it, and I believe them. I believe some people really do not like it. But I think there's a lot of people out there virtue signaling. I feel that to my bone. I think a lot of people are virtue signaling. They're just pretending like this is bad because of AI slop. It really stems from the whole AI slop movement against AI. Like, it's so many younger folks just hate everything AI. And so they don't want no part of it. So that's what I think.
why? Like, I don't understand the AI slop part of it at all, right? There's no. It's not like these are generated by AI. It's just AI filters on top of what
Well, it's
already
not
has
even a
been
filter.
created.
It's not even a filter. They
True, you're right.
explicitly
It's a
kept
neural
saying it's not a
rendering, but
filter. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's just really just it's putting a gloss of paint on what you already have, right? Like, there's nothing. It's still your intent. It's still your graphics. It's still your art. So
And it's the developers that are fine tuning this.
Doing this, yeah.
It makes no sense to me to get all up in arms about it. But
whatever. It is weird.
You know, and again, people, for the console folks that were like, I don't like it. It's coming to your console near you. Not this exact thing, but similar to this. Like, they're going to use neural rendering.
Some new capabilities.
And they're going to make the games look better. I mean,
I'm
look
just
at
waiting
the
for that,
advancement.
UE6. It's going to drop.
Look at what
UE6 is going to come in and say,
well, the thing is,
here's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. UE6 can do the same thing. And UE6 is going to be another bloated freaking mess. Just like UE5.
That's the way it is. Yep.
Yeah, it's how it happens. But I wanted to say, though, look at how far the PSSR to PSSR2 came. Like, that was a huge jump for me. So, again, this is all part of their push with AI software going into next gen. PS6 will have PSSR, neural rendering, and all that stuff to help these games look even better. It's just how it is. And if you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you. Like, this is the future of gaming. This is what's here. Yeah, we can talk about the doom and gloom stuff. We can say, what about the artists themselves? Can they get, axed? Yeah, the potential is all there for a lot of doom and gloom with AI in any freaking, business company. Like, it sucks. But at the end of the day, like, this is what's happening, and we can't do anything about it. So I'm not going to kick and scream. I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, wait for our
It's
AI
not.
overlords
It's a genie.
to take
It's
over.
not going back in the bottle. It's you got to learn to work with it and use it to your advantage and enjoy the fruits of other people's hard labor, I guess.
Yeah. Because these people, like, honestly, these companies have spent so much money into AI already that unless there's a complete bubble burst and it all, and even then it won't all go away because there's so much advancements in technology where it makes sense. In gaming alone, it's already doing better. So,
and people worked on it to build it too. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like they just put a bunch of robots in a room and said, build us AI. Like, you know what I mean? Humans are creating these
doing
things.
that job. Yeah.
Yeah. So survey your rights. There is YouTubers that want hate clicks too. They just, everything's AI slop to them. It's weird. I know, but there are some people out there though that genuinely don't like it. I have a very good friend who's a pretty big YouTuber that he genuinely does not like it. And I believe him. He's given me a lot of reasons why. He's given a lot of thought to it. However, I don't agree with him on a lot of them. I understand some of them. A lot of them are the doom and gloom stuff that I talked about earlier with the possibility of getting your job taken away and stuff. And I get that aspect of it, but that's everywhere. Like there's an AI dominance going on. Now, I will say this. I don't hate everything AI like some people do, but there are some of these AI videos that I'll see on social media that I can't stand. And I'm tired of seeing those. Like, where they'll pretend to be something real, and then you're like, wait a minute, I'm watching AI. My God, this ain't even real. This is stupid. And I'll just have to, scroll. But anyways, I hate that kind of stuff. But anyways, I don't know. I think it's a cool tech. We'll see what it's like. We can move on though. We've talked enough about this. I'm glad that there's a lot of people in our chat that actually did like what they saw. And again, it's not everybody that hates this tech, because I've seen a lot of people like it and even love it. So I don't know. It's kind of divisive, I should say. So one thing I want to ask you guys is this really quick, because I know we've been talking about like Helix and PS6 on various podcasts, all three of us. I'm sure we've all talked about it. But I just want to ask you two, how much, like Holly, I'll go to you first. How much do you think these two consoles will cost?
Gosh.
If you had to give a good guess.
Well, the things you keep hearing that Helix is going to be $1,200. Like, that's just what I hear everywhere. So in my brain, I just started to believe it. Right. It might be, I would like to think that they're going to get it just slightly cheaper, but I would not. It's nice to be pleasantly surprised, so you should plan for it to be higher than you want it to be, because then you won't be disappointed. So think 15 and hope for it to actually be $999.99, right? Like there's some, that way if it comes in at 12, you're like, well, we split the difference, it's fine, right? Yeah. But the PS6 I think is gonna be, if it doesn't take like an extremely high end, which I don't think it will, like Xbox is doing, I don't see that coming in under 700 at a minimum. I'm thinking $700-800 easily, because I just think they're all done subsidizing. I don't think any of them want to subsidize anymore. And I mean, PlayStation started making money not that long right after they came out with the PS5 anyway. But I don't think that they I don't think they want to subsidize. I don't think they have to anymore, because they've kind of conditioned the market.
There's rumors swirling where they might subsidize the PS6. There's rumors going around that they might do it.
I don't think, the reason I say I don't think they're going to do it is mostly because of I guess has it actually for sure been confirmed? Like PlayStation has absolutely said we're pulling out of PC altogether. Period.
Not from them. But yeah. Jason Schreier, he's usually correct on this stuff, so it's kind of hard to dispute.
So if you assume that that's their path, then they don't have to subsidize the PS6, because they're not selling on PC anymore. And a lot of the dude bros on PC, despite the whole, like, they normally will wait. But if it's not coming, like just period, like they come out and say, we're not porting, then I think most of them will buy a PS5. And most people.
Okay.
So that's why I don't think or PS6, sorry. That's why I think they don't have to subsidize the console if they're not selling on PC.
Mm-hmm. See, and that's why I think they will subsidize. Because if they get that thing at a cheaper price, let's say they can get it in there $699 or even $6, they will sell a lot more consoles that way. Especially if the opposition is being sold at $1,000 even. Yeah. Let's say even $1,000. It'll sell to a lot of consumers out there, including PC guys as well, because they can't any longer play their games on PC, or at least that's what we're hearing. I'm with you though. I think that the possibility of 1,200 is probably about right for the Helix, and 700 to 800 for the PS6. I think that's probably where it's at. But if they do subsidize, if these rumors are true, I can see them doing 6 and trying to freaking just sell them like hotcakes and get people into their ecosystem and start spending money there. And I think that's their plan.
Yeah, it sucks.
I don't know.
and well, you know what's like is more just frustrating holistically when you look at the market across all of them, is just the fact that, like, PlayStation, in all honesty, and I'm, I play on Xbox, I prefer Xbox, but I'm not console war. I don't have any skin in console war game. I don't care. But just realistically, I have both consoles. I got them both at launch. I have only turned on my PlayStation for 3 or 4 games this entire generation. And I feel like PlayStation has really skirted by with very few actual quality games this entire generation. It's been such a waste of money for me to get this
Well,
PS5. But
let me just
they've
interject though. Because you play all your multiplats on Xbox, so it's
or PC.
yeah, or
Like,
PC, and it's
right.
kind of hard to, because I'm in the same boat. I have a PlayStation 5. I have a Pro now, and it doesn't get as much play, not at all. Like, I've turned that thing on for maybe 6 games the whole generation. Okay,
Yeah.
and that's because I've played the exclusives, and then I don't play it. But that's because I play primarily on PC.
Mm-hmm. But my point is,
So-
though, is that, you know, it was always PlayStation has the games. You have to have a PlayStation because they've got all of these games that you need to play and they come out all the time, right? Like, but this generation, that hasn't been what PlayStation really has been about for the most part.
But you know,
And I
even
would-
last generation, they've never been about volume. They've always just been about
Well,
one
but they
game,
had a
2 games
lot
a year.
last. I feel like they had a lot last generation, but just the point being that I really
see
feel
what you're
like
saying,
they've
though.
kind of skirted under the radar with that, you know, like I don't
They've
really
had
feel like
more
they've taken the
remakes
heat,
too this gen. They've had more
too
remakes.
many of them. Yeah. I just feel like they really haven't gotten the heat that I feel like they deserve for the
Gotcha.
lack of true big experiences that come with PlayStation that I feel like people, at least in their mind, have been trained to think that come with PlayStation. And unfortunately for Xbox, they have drawn all of the smoke and all of the heat, you know, all generation, and it's never left any room for Sony to kind of like really come under scrutiny.
Yeah.
Right, for that. And what's going to happen, to your point and what you just talked about, is like it's just going to get more and more, right, as we go into this wider gap in the console space.
Well, I think that, well, you haven't been on in a while. Well, Hargeet, before I get into anything else, Hargeet, what do you think about the price, man?
So there's a lot of factors here that are kind of annoying. So we don't know that the PlayStation 6, for instance, might come out at the same time. If it does, then you have a price competition thing that they could actually go against. If it doesn't, and like the PS6 comes out a year later, you basically have to set the strategy of what you're going to come to the market with. The beginning of it, a lot of it's going to be fanboys, right? They're going to buy whatever they're going to buy, and even if it's a little higher, they'll probably buy it. And if you know, the PS6 comes out a year later, when that comes out, they could bump back to something closer to that, right? And at that point, they might have the ability to like get a discount based on market conditions. We just don't know, right? So it is possible things come down a bit, right? Where we are is everything's inflated, right? So we don't know if that bubble bursts sometime this year. It's trending downwards again, but like we'll see, right? And if things get cheaper and cheaper over time, they could like bring the price down. So would they subsidize or not? If you asked me this when Phil and Sarah were running things, I'd say, nah, that's not happening. Well, apparently all of that changed, and now we have a whole new leadership, and the idea is to bring back the Xbox. Okay. Does that mean that you might do the subsidy?
Oh,
I don't know. I don't know, right? We're in a totally new world. I have not seen what Asha's going to do. Right. So it totally could be that they're like, no, we're going to be aggressive. We're going to have an aggressive price, and we're not going to, get profit from the box. And we're going to put it out in every room we can. Right. Is that a possibility? Sure. Could Microsoft afford it? Hell yeah. Of course they could afford it. The question is, will they do it? I don't know. I don't know what the answer is anymore. Right. In the world they were in before, we had a path. In the world they're in now, when everything just went flipping everywhere, right? I don't know what the answer to that is anymore. So it's hard for me to say. I think component-wise, it's in that 100 to 200 more range. It's about where it is. And it depends on how much storage. Do we even know how much that is? I have no idea. But the storage prices are high right now. Memory prices are high. We're hearing there's going to be more memory. If there is, that's an added expense. The CPU, the APU part of it's going to be a little bit more expensive, right? Okay, all that's there. What does that mean, right? So I would expect 100 to 200 more for the Xbox. But again, that would be in a profit mode. What happens if it's not a profit mode and they're like, no, we're going to be aggressive and come in with a subsidy? It's like, well, okay, that totally changes things. Again, I just don't know at this point, right? I just don't have enough data to say this is what, Asha's mindset is until they show me, right? If everything is status quo, whatever Phil had put in place, my guess is they want, break even or profit on the box, right? They're going to sell it at cost or get a little bit of profit. If that's the case, it's going to be more expensive. Could PlayStation say, well, if they're doing that, we have an ability to escalate our price. Why wouldn't we? Right. So maybe they come in lower, but that's a fanboy idea. A company says, if my competition's that expensive, I can come in $100 less. Why wouldn't I? Right. And I'm still making money. Why wouldn't I do that? Right. Because I'm still beating them. So I'm making money. So that would be the way that I would look at it. So we're in totally different dynamics now. I just don't know. It's very hard to tell. On top of that, we're hearing that maybe this is from one of the ex-Bluepoint people, that the Steam machine is what's causing Sony to potentially pull away from those Steam, the day and date, or not day and date, but the releases of their, first party titles. It's like, okay, so is that really a big threat to them? Because I wasn't seeing it that way.
I see it that way only because it's another box in the living room with Steam. You know what I'm saying?
And so now you have more price pressure, right? Because you have another box that's doing that, and that one's lower capability, right? So it could be at the PS5 level, it could be at the PS5 Pro level, and you say, okay, well, that's a pretty good device then, right? That gives you price competition. This is the world we're in now. It's very hard to tell where any of this is going to go, because again, we don't have the same leadership across these platforms anymore. When one of them just totally revamped everything. I'm like,
that is
I don't know.
I didn't think about the leadership change in the mindset that they might just change direction in price.
Right? They could do all sorts of things. Everything's on the table. That's what they're saying. Everything's on the table. They could look at all sorts of potential ways to subsidize the box. They could look at it's all up to them. I don't know what the answer is anymore because it's very hard to tell. They were on a direction, and that direction, I'm like, okay, I get what they're doing. I don't know what the direction is anymore. So we will find out. But if I had to guess, just random guess, I would say, Holly, you're kind of in that ballpark. It's $700-800 PS6 seems reasonable. Again, that's not subsidizing. If they subsidize, you could see it down to the 600 level. If they go crazy, they could make it 500. But now you're taking a lot of hit, right? You could go to the Xbox side and say maybe they subsidize and it's like $700-800. Realistically, I would put it just shy of 1,000. Maybe at 800-900, that would be a more realistic price. But we'll see. We just don't know, right? We don't know what they're going to do. And this is where the tit for tat comes in, right? Is if they're both releasing in that same time frame and they're both 2027, then you see who's going to come in with what price, and you might try to match it, right? So, and that's kind of what happens, right? And so we will have to see. I don't know. It's a very tough thing to say right now.
Yeah, no, that you made a great point about different a different regime there now. So I don't know what they're going to do. And you're right. Like, we have no idea what the pricing is going to come in for the Steam machine. We just don't know. And I think they're all kind of waiting to see what each other is going to do. Like, there any kind of inkling of a price, they're going to adjust accordingly for sure. But I do feel like if Sony does subsidize, they will sell a lot of consoles. A lot, because I think they're going to sell a lot anyway. PS6s.
There's another major thing that we just don't know the answer to yet, which is this really a PC level device or is it a console device? And if it's a console device, that's one thing. If it literally can turn on into a Windows machine, if you subsidize it, what stops people from buying that as just their Windows machine? What stops a company from saying, I need 500 PCs, I'm going to buy 500 Xboxes because you're subsidizing?
Well, that's why I have mentioned in the past, there are PC gamers, like most PC gamers right now, do not even have the equivalent of a Helix they're playing on. They just don't. They have lesser PCs. So if
even
they
the Steam
do
machine
subsidize,
is an awesome machine.
even if they didn't subsidize, the only thing keeping a PC gamer from that machine is, of course, to see how it performs. Okay. But also the fact that some of these people can't change parts. You know, some of these people may want to upgrade RAM, upgrade their GPU, and they can't do that sort of thing on here. So that may be something that they won't buy it for, you know, but I could see like some of them buying it if it is at a good price and it performs really well. If we're talking like, you know, what Moore's Law is dead stating, close to 5080 or whatever, I'm sure that would be a great price for $1,200. Even at $1,200, that's an amazing price. You can't get a 5080 machine right now, PC, for less than $2,000. You cannot. So, I mean, that would be a really great price.
Yeah,
So
but I mean, that's going to
to
be a pricing headache for Xbox to handle, right? So they can't make it too cheap, because if it is, and again, this is all up to them, because they could lock it and say, no, you can't run standard Windows. It's going to be gaming, and it will happen to run Windows games. Then it's not an issue. But if it really does go to Windows desktop and you can just run Windows and do whatever you want, yeah, that becomes a problem for them, because it could be a PC that people could buy where Microsoft is subsidizing the cost of their PC purchase.
Why is it lately? I heard something just yesterday. It might have been a video, but somebody was talking about how, do we know this Helix is really going to have Steam on it? And I'm like, wait a minute. Are we really asking that question now? Like, I thought it was already a guarantee that it's going to be a lot like the ROG Ally X, which has Steam on it.
Well, the ROG Ally X is outright Windows, but yeah, it has Steam because it's Windows. I don't know what this one is, but they have already said it's going to have the access to the Steam store, right? So that's been said. So, but again, as Asha said,
in what capacity?
The plan is the plan until it's not the plan.
Yeah, and if it does have access, in what capacity? Is it like full blown store, or is it like some sort of different app?
I would expect it's like you see it now with the ROG, right? So you bring up the Xbox interface, you just see your Steam library there. But if you want to buy a game, you're going to see their store by default. But you can go to Steam yourself, and do whatever you want, right? So that would be my guess.
So I assume it's going to be something like that, but. Oh, it was Moore's Law. That's right. It was Moore's Law that said it. He was like, we don't even know if it's going to have Steam on it. And I'm like, I thought they mentioned
they've said that. They said that, yeah.
Yeah.
Again?
So
that was a previous administration?
Yeah, because the plan is the plan until it isn't the plan. Is a wild statement, because that could mean anything. So much could change.
Yep.
Yeah. So Jay Slayer in the chat says, Steam was never said. Moore's Law is dead, did a video, and he researched it. And he says that Xbox never confirmed Steam on Helix. So
Epic is.
I don't know.
For sure. But I can't imagine though it wouldn't be, because it's on the Ally X.
Yeah, and supposedly you're going to be able to boot into full-blown Windows on the Helix. Like that, I thought that was said. Like, or am I just hearing what other content creators have said? Like, at this point, I'm confused. I don't even know. I'll be honest.
I don't know. I thought she said that, like Sarah said, that it was going to be on there. But maybe you're right. I don't know.
Valve and Xbox have a very friendly relationship. I don't see why it wouldn't be there.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's kind of a weird thing.
That would really hamper the machine if they didn't have Steam on it.
Well, here's the thing I was going to get into earlier, Holly, with you is how does Asha, because me and Hargeet have talked about this, but she wants to focus on bringing people back to the console, to Xbox. How do you go about doing that without exclusive content. Like, I don't know, because usually the traditional way is you have something, and I'm not saying that everybody buys a console for exclusive content, because it's not true. But she has a tall task. How does she do it?
I don't know. It depends on, like, we heard that she had a blank checkbook, and then somebody came back and said, no, that was
No,
never
that's not what it
said.
said.
She doesn't
Yeah.
have a blank checkbook. I mean, the way you do it, that's a tough one, because do you play hardball and do you point out the failures of your competitors? Do you just take an absolute bath on the price of the next hardware to make sure that you are at least $100 to $200 cheaper than the other guy?
That would be a way. Yeah.
And you would need to be out first, right? Or you would have to be out first if you were going to try to go that way, right? The problem is like, kind of like Phil said, they lost the most important generation, and I fully believe that that's true, right? Like, people built their digital libraries, and not everybody cares about their digital library, I know, but a lot of people do. The existing players do, right? But you've got young kids and other people, right, coming in, and more often than not, it's what system are you on, right? So I guess, I don't know. It's a tough one to me, because I'm in a chat with a certain person who's always just very anti-corpo, anti-establishment, capitalism and all that stuff. But they sit there and like cap for exclusivity so hard. And I was like, they're like, yes, it's just coming back, or coming in, and exclusivity is coming back, and it's the best way, it's the best model. And I was like, for somebody who's so anti-corpo and anti-capitalism, why are you capping for the most anti-consumer practice that's out there? Like, in reality, you should be worried about your wallet, right? So, like, I don't understand the tribalism behind it, because I don't work for the company. This is not money coming into my pocket, right? Like, I want to keep the money in my pocket. But I understand the business side of having those games and having them only where you're at. And I also understand, once you've opened the door to somebody else and started feeding them everything, I don't know how you pull it back. They need games that, if you really want to go that route and you want to do exclusivity to get people to come to you, the games have to be so freaking epic that people can't, like, feel like they can't miss them, right? And I don't know how many games are actually like that, except like GTA or
And you called it.
I mean,
You called
but yeah, but I don't see, like, I don't see Rockstar ever just being like, no, we're just going to cut off the higher player base on this other console, right? Like, I know, but like, the amount of money that would take would be astronomical. They need to build something. Like, God of War is probably a system seller, right? Or it was when it first came out, right?
That is the dilemma. Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that is the dilemma.
And
they need new IP that are compelling.
Yes. And I love Gears. I absolutely love Gears, but I don't see it being a system driver for PlayStation people to come to.
We are right there. We are right there on the same page. I said the same thing about Gears.
Halo,
I love Gears.
Is not.
But
yeah.
Halo is not a system seller anymore.
It's not. You need something new that just absolutely F's the competition, right? And you need more than one. You can't just have one. You've got to have a few.
Holly, this is why I have you on, because you are very astute. You understand this. And
the problem is they don't have the budget for that. They don't have.
But they have money. But will they spend that money on doing this and trying to reverse all this? I don't think they will. Now, I have a friend out there, Tim Dog. He's been all over social media. He thinks exclusives are coming back. Bless his heart. I don't think it's happening because of the actions I'm seeing. It looks like they're all in on PC. It looks to me like they just want to bring people to the Helix and then eventually to the PC, because I think the Helix will be their last console. So that's what I think. But
Serve made a good point,
and then
too.
they're going to just try to compete on PC with Steam, which is rough. But hey, if they think
Play
they can do
Anywhere
it.
though, I will say, I was just kind of, when Play Anywhere came out, I was just like okay, whatever.
It's a good
just
feature.
a future. I was thinking it's just future proofing, really, right, for the next console, et cetera, et cetera. But I buy a lot on the Epic Game Store because you get cash back in your account, right, to add towards more games in the future. To again, pro consumer.
I did not know
right?
they gave you cash back. Wow, that's crazy.
Well, it goes into your account, and they had 20% cash back on every purchase for like 6 to 9 months last year, and everything that I bought on the Epic Game Store that was available to get there, because 20% on all of those. Like, I bought one game and I have $14 credit in my account. That's it. Like, it was great, but now they're back down to 5%. Still, nobody else is offering that right now. So when I buy a new game, I look at Epic first.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, the last couple things, I wound up actually going back and saying, wait a minute, does that play anywhere? And then I'm like, the nice thing is that when I'm in my living room with Play Anywhere, I can just play it on my Xbox. I already have hooked up to my TV. I have a PC hooked up to my TV. But if I want to go, like, if I want to play the PC version, I have to, like, if I'm on a party, I have to leave the party. I have to turn on, like, go to the PC, turn the, like, get the other controller, like, do all of the stuff.
Yeah.
Which is first world problem, but it's a hassle to switch between the two. And because I have an Xbox library and I have a PC library, the swapping is the thing that occurs. And I have the LAX, which I won on this show. So like, yes, then I'm like, well, I could play that, if I have that Play Anywhere, that I could play it on that too. So it's starting to click in my head for me and my situation a little bit more, to be like, well, do I really want to buy it on Epic, or do I want to buy it on Play Anywhere? Because I have complications in my play style, right? That would be nice to just play on my Xbox and not necessarily always on my PC. So just saying, like, it's starting to move the needle in my mind a little bit, but I'm a gamer that's not the average casual either, right? Like,
and again, you really don't have bias, when it comes to, the corporate thing, and you're not sitting here talking crap about Sony or anything. You just play your multiplats, mostly on PC and Xbox, but you do have your PlayStation for their exclusives. Now, I'm going to do something here I don't normally do. Captain chats, he says, which makes it hard to invest in the Helix if it's their last console. What I'm going to do here is try to sell you on a Helix. And I'm only doing, I'm not even buying a Helix, but Hargeet, yes, pigs are flying right now. The reason why I say this is because I want you to think about this as from an Xbox gamer perspective. You care about your library, okay? You care about your ecosystem. You love their UI. You love their feature sets. You love quick resume and all that stuff. You will get that with Helix. But here's the catch. Even if it's their last one, when you do move on to something else eventually in the PC realm, because that's probably where they're going to push you, or let me just say, there might be OEM Xboxes to continue forward. It just won't be in-house made, but they will have those Xbox chips and everything there for you to continue on your library and everything else you love. But here's the caveat here with the PC portion of this. You're going to get all that stuff there eventually. They're trying to bring your library and everything and all those features to the PC. They're trying to bring it to Windows. This is the reason why they're doing all this stuff with Helix and why you're sort of beta testing soon. I think in April, the UI and everything for the Helix will be there on PC. And they've already mentioned they're trying to get all this stuff ready for the PC as well, so you can access everything there. I think they're just conditioning you for this transition. And again, there might be those OEMs that you might feel more comfortable with than just buying a PC, and they might be cheaper. So there's that possibility. But I think Xbox themselves, I think they want out of the hardware for after this. I do. I think they do, but this is the way to transition everybody to something else. That's what I think. My 2 cents. I don't know, Hargeet. Did I explain that okay?
Yeah, I mean, look, there's not enough particulars for me to actually make any determination about Helix. I would just wait until they actually announce it. Like right now, it's going to be a lot of like just speculation. I mean, like, was it Bobby who puts in, why not just get a Steam machine, right? Like, you know, cool, but the Steam machine is going to be significantly lower power than a PS6 or a Helix. And if that's okay with you, that's fine. That's totally fine. Fair. Go ahead.
It's going to cost a lot too.
Yeah, and I mean, if I had to recommend one, I would actually recommend just get a PS5. The PS5 has more power than the Steam machine, so why not just get the PS5? You know, or if you want, just get a Series X, whichever one, right? But like, I don't know, whatever.
Well, I get it if people just want the Steam platform. It makes sense if it's at a good price.
Yeah, but it's not exactly a lot of power, so whatever. And again, if you're looking for that level of performance, totally fair. That's fine. Where Helix comes in, I don't know, but like, I'm just not even going to speculate until they tell me what it is, because that's my problem. I don't know what it is, right? So until you tell me what this thing is going to be capable of, like people keep saying that maybe those backwards compatibility things are going to come to Windows. Do we know that? Have they said that? I have not heard that. So maybe that's going to happen. Maybe it's not going to happen.
Jason Ronald mentioned that they want to try to bring your library to the PC.
And if they can pull it off, great. What they can do is their own games. They could do that. And they have a large library now, right? They could do that for their own games. I don't know about the rest. So we will see. We'll see what they do with that, right? So
yeah, you're right.
As far as
that's
fine.
Xbox library. So there's that caveat. You're right. Xbox library. Yeah.
So now, as far as how do they market? I don't know if are you all set? Do you have more to drop on that piece? How do they get to, get people to buy their console?
I just think it's a monumental task, and without knowing their internal conversations, it's just too hard to say, right? Yeah, for me. Yeah, that's it.
Judah roars, I want you to explain it when you're saying you can tell Fonz chills with D-Batch, birds of a feather. You have the same rationale. About what? About what I said about the Helix? Because I'm not bashing it at all. Matter of fact, I'm just telling you the truth. This is their company's last console. Coming out of Xbox. They haven't confirmed that, but I am 100% convinced that this is their last one. And you might see OEM consoles, other manufacturers making Xbox devices in the future. I don't know. You might.
I have no idea, because everything just went topsy-turvy for me, so I have no idea what's going to happen anymore. I might have agreed with that before, but now I just don't know. I have no idea what they're planning to do. I've thrown it all up in the air now.
Selling a lot of these Helixes, so I don't think they're going to continue. That's what my rationale is. I don't see them selling very many of these.
Maybe not. Again, it like depends on how they want to change their marketing. So first, you have to create some sort of like consumer demand based on your marketing of what you do, right? And right now they've been playing a lot more kumbaya than they have been like bashing their competition, which is what they used to do. And Sony is no problem lobbing crap on the other side. So if you want to actually compete, then you're going to have to do the same thing. I don't know if that's what they're going to do, but it is the first move Asha made. Well, beyond Matt Booty, right, is to say, I want new marketing people. So she's hiring marketing people. What does that tell me? That she's really going to look at how we can change what our market, campaigns are. The second thing we see her doing is she got rid of this is an Xbox. That's gone, right? So there's obviously a mind shift there, right? There's something going on as far as how they're going to go into the market and tell people about their platform. What that leads to, I don't know, because I haven't seen what they're going to do, right? So is that a potential? Sure. You just have to convince people, right? That's really it, that this is the place to be. How do you do that? Well, you show all the stuff yourself, right? So right now, like, take Hogwarts. It was shown as a PlayStation game. It was on everything. Nintendo Switch could play that game, right? It was on everything. But people associated it with PlayStation, even though it was literally everywhere, right?
True.
That's what you kind of do. You play this narrative game. The other thing you could do is go aggressive. So Fonz, if you want to take your way of doing it, of doing exclusives, which I'm not all that much of a fan of, but whatever, let's say we go down that path, then yes, they could spend the money. You know how they did that before? Like they took Mass Effect away and BioShock away.
No,
BioShock eventually
for
came.
Sure.
Right?
That's all part of
KOTOR, and I could go on. There were so many games. Gears of War. That was a third party that made that game. Epic made that game. And they made that an exclusive. They took that away from everybody. Right? I could go on and on, right? Of games that they did that with.
I was there and I loved it back then.
Right? That's what you could do. And so, like Holly was saying, a game like GTA would be, well, why not? So the question is like, oh, it's too big. They bought ABK. What's too big? 5 billion? I mean, literally, they could just pull that out of a cushion. Here's 5 billion. They don't care. They could sneeze. Here's 5 billion.
Satya's
it doesn't matter.
bonus.
Right? Like literally, it's nothing to them. So if it's an investment of strategic value, they can make it. It's a question of, do they want to do it? As far as making money, that's a question for them, right? So do their profits have the capacity to handle 5 billion in loss? Probably not. 2 billion in loss? Probably. But do they want to do that? I don't know if they want to do that, right? That's up to Satya and Asha to figure out, hey, do we want to make a strategic investment here to bring the brand back? Because that's the golden opportunity. They don't come around often, but it's a golden opportunity. You could do one of two things. You could just market the hell out of it and say, we're going to make everything brand associated with Xbox for GTA. That's one way to go, which supposedly is already happening with Sony. But who says you don't walk over with a bigger bag and say, well, I want that. Give it to me. That's one option. The other one is say, take it away. That's a bigger bag. Granted, it's a bigger bag. But don't tell me that somebody says no to, say, 5 billion, 10 billion, $15 billion. If you say, no, I need this for my brand. Here's a big bag. Give it to me. Or you know what? Hey, shareholders, I want to buy your company. Because they've done that before. There's nothing stopping them from just going and saying, here, let's buy Take-Two. What stops that? They could do that. And then they just say, no, that's my game. And it's not coming to PlayStation or Switch or whatever. It's coming to Windows and Xbox, and that's it. Have a nice day. Could they do that?
Yeah, if you can't if you can't make them, then yeah, you can buy that exclusivity for sure. I mean, Sony still does it. They tried with Crimson Desert.
Exactly.
They tried with Crimson Desert.
They tried it with Starfield.
Now, yeah, I mean, if Sony's playing ball that way, I don't have a problem with Microsoft doing the same thing, personally. Because again, like, you need compelling titles. In just my thoughts, I think you need compelling titles to sell a platform. Sure, there's great feature sets and stuff, but I don't think that it doesn't seem like people buy consoles anymore for that sort of, or never have bought consoles for that sort of thing. It's just always been, the leader has always been the mind share, whatever is the, what the casuals think is the box to buy. And right now that seems to be Sony. It just seems to be PlayStation. This gen,
but that's a marketing thing. It's up to them to change that, right?
Yeah. And you're right. You bring up a lot of good points, especially because of the new management there at Xbox. We really don't know what they're going to do. Like, they could play ball. They could write a check and just be like, you know what? No, bullshit. We're getting this game. I mean, it could happen.
There is that, like, so Phil did that once with Tomb Raider, and the industry went like kablooey and said, "Why did you do that, Phil?" And Phil just cowered away. Okay, fair enough. I don't know if they're going to do that again. So like Asha might say, "I'm going to do that, and I don't care if you come at me, F you," right? And just go do it, right? Because they already get piled on anyway, right? So it's like, okay, you're going to always be negative about me anyway.
Well, and Sony pulling their games off of PC is an indirect straight, fire at the bow of Xbox, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And Steam Machine, but
It
yeah,
is.
exactly. So
It is.
they need to either decide that they are all in on this and they want to compete, and then you have to play the shitty games that are played, or keep playing nicey nice and kumbaya. And
Magnum, but that's Magnum says people would still stick with PlayStation regardless, even if they pulled some great exclusives. No, I disagree. Some, yes, for sure. But here's the thing. It's not about sticking with one console. See, that's the fanboy mindset. Like somebody like me, I will buy any platform out there that has an exclusive that I want to play. I will go buy that. If I want to play that exclusive enough, I'm going to have that platform. I don't care what people think. I honestly, like, if Xbox had an exclusive to the Helix box that I wanted to play, I'm buying the Helix box, despite me having a 4090. If it wasn't on my 4090, I'm buying the Helix. The same way I would buy a PS6 for their exclusives. Like, it's the same thing. Like,
it's why people buy Nintendo Switches if you have a PlayStation or Xbox.
exactly.
They don't want to play their third party on Nintendo. They just want to play those games that Nintendo has.
Nobody wants to do that. That's
unless they're indies, right? Those work.
Unless
I
they're
guess
kids
indies are okay.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
But I've always
Smaller
been that
indie
way
games, but
forever. And even when I've been called an X-bot, shill, a pony, whatever, I've always had all the consoles. I've always had all the freaking platforms. Ever since I was a kid, if we could afford it, I had it. Because I didn't have that kind of bias. I didn't grow up that way. So I was already well into my adulthood when I came into this community, and I'm like, what? People actually fight over games? Consoles? What the hell is this? It blew my mind.
Right.
But it happens.
So, but yeah, look, I don't know what they're going to do. That's the problem, right? So if you want to go down that path, there's plenty of stuff in their own catalog that's good, but is it going to be compelling enough? I don't know. You have this golden goose with GTA. If you want to go get it, fine. But that's up to them. It's all up to them. Do they want to spend the money or not?
Dude.
And up to now, they have just been reticent to do anything.
I mean, look, this is stupid. It'll never happen, Hargeet. But I want to entertain it because that would be just because it's so laughable. If they freaking like took GTA away from the competition, oh my god,
it would be funny.
So bad.
It would just be funny to watch the meltdown.
Oh, the meltdown. Oh, the internet would just explode. But guess what? You'd sell a lot of Series X's or Helixes. I mean, I'm telling you, you will.
Well, that's, that would the boss move, which they're not doing. We know they're not doing now.
It's not
but the boss move would have been to have that Helix ready the day that GTA came out, because then that would be the most powerful console to play GTA on.
Yep.
That would have sold a lot of Helix.
Yep.
Yeah. It's crazy. Anyways, this has been a great show, but we're hitting that 2-hour mark. It's about time to get out of here. I had a lot of fun. Holly, thank you for being here. Hargeet, let everybody know where they can find you, and where you're going to be next.
All right. Well, I'll be on. Well, thanks, Holly, for coming as well. But yeah, so I'll be on with Boom tomorrow, 7 p.m. US Eastern Time on Double Barrel Gaming, with C Money and Doodle on Friday, 8 p.m. US Eastern Time, on On Point for Gamers, and with Web Dave again. Hopefully not with as much controversy. On Sunday,
you're not kicking off D again. Yeah, I don't want to see that.
7 p.m. US Eastern Time on Web Dave's channel. So check those out. We'll be back here next week. Hopefully, we'll see.
Yes,
yes,
we will. Tuesday. Hopefully, we'll have something to talk about, because news is hopefully something else.
You have Crimson Desert to talk about.
Yes, we will. We will. Holly,
and maybe we can talk about the fun of dynamic pricing.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
yeah. I mean, look, this is our episode where we deep dived into the pricing. Look, we won't say another word about pricing until we get more info down the line. Hopefully. Anyways, Holly, where can people find you, and what are you going to be doing next on your channel?
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys. I love coming on here and hello chat, goodbye chat. I am what am I doing next? Well, I did take a poll about playing Crimson Desert on stream because I was like, man, that's such a big game. I don't know that I want to play it on stream, right? Like, but
That'd be rough.
it would be, and it will be. I think I'm gonna do
Oh.
a few episodes of it. We'll see how far I get.
Okay.
I think that's what I'm gonna do. But I do live stream. I do play games on my stream, and I try to make videos sometimes. So if you want, you can go and follow me over there. But thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, of course. And if you want to come back next week, feel free. We can talk about Crimson Desert and get your thoughts. Because I know Hargi probably won't be playing it. I'm just saying he's got a lot to play and stuff, and he's on the fence. But in the event that, he doesn't, at least you'll be here and we can talk if you can make it. So that'd be cool.
Yeah.
And I enjoy having you guys, having you on here. It's a lot of fun. Anyways, with that said, I want to thank everybody for coming out today and everybody listening after the show. Thank you very much. And yeah, we'll be back next week to talk some Crimson Desert and whatever else comes up. Who knows? DLSS can piss a lot of people off again. It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you to the chat. They've been really great tonight. The chat's been on fire, like really good stuff. So take care, everyone. Dynamic pricing will get Sony sued. Oh, wow. It's illegal in multiple countries. That's probably true. With that said, I want to thank everybody. And until next time, game on.